Hello everybody, welcome back to Creating Hanley. My name is Kimberly here at Creating Hanley, and in today's episode we are making this quilt block. 12.5 inches unfinished quilt block. This is called cards or card trick, or I don't think playing cards or something along those lines. You'll find this pattern called cards of something. Playing cards, trick cards, hidden cards, or something other. But in this video, this is called Christmas cards. Okay, so here's our December block of the month. Christmas cards. Yes, it's not a year full of stars star block, but I liked it and I'm including it for our December block. Anyway, I got the idea from this book, 1,000 Blocks, Quiltmakers. Remember, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't get any kickbacks, affiliate money, anything like that. I don't get paid by YouTube as of today, January 2025. I don't get any sponsor money, anything, nothing. It's all me right now. I sponsor myself. So whatever you see, like whatever products I'm using, I bought them. They're mine. Okay, with that said, from that book, page 383, it's Christmas cards. This one, right here. We're gonna make some others, but this one, Christmas cards. So they're using green and red and black, and I think they have I don't know if it's a Christmas theme. It's not really. They're just red, green, and black. So this is a green, this is a green, and so they're tone on tones. So they have green, a light green, like a darker green. This is more of a colorful green. And then here's red, and then they're black. So obviously tone on tones. They don't have to be solids, although I have seen these done in solids. You could do prints, something, whatever you, and again, we're using our stash, right? Well, at least I am. So this year, I brought out my batiks. So in this series, So a Year Full of Stars 2, I am going to use my batiks. This is half. This is really half. I have another stack of batiks over there. They're not all blue. They're a little different. But yeah, so I am going to use this. Now you can see a lot of them are blue. So that means some of these colors in here are going to be different because I don't have the black. So what you can see here is here's my black. This is blue. Here's my red, which is red, burgundy or something along those lines. The green right here. And then this is the green on green, but this isn't green. This is more like red. And that's fine. As long as they're different, great. So, again, I'm going to reference this so you can see they're different. Now, as far as the size, so you can't use a charm pack because some of these are bigger than 5-inch squares. But you could use a layer cake, the 10-inch squares. So if you have some of those around, you can cut from that. I just used yardage. In fact, here are the exact colors that I used. So these are the batiks that I used. So I have this cream. I have this. This is that crazy color that's supposed to be green, but it's not green. It's like red, blue, yellow. And then this is the green that I have. Now, I'm going to tell you about stripes in a little bit. But this is the green that I have. And it's kind of directional. I would suggest not using a directional fabric for this because it will get out of direction. Okay, so here's this. No direction here. No direction here. All right. So that's that. Now, let's just kind of look at it. Let's talk about the direction. I didn't plan on going in that direction, but let's talk about it for a second. So you can see these stripes are going this way, which matches this way. But then over here, nope, it's going the opposite way. And same with here, going the opposite way and then back to this way again. So using a directional fabric, probably not a good idea, because what you're going to have to do is cut extra fabric, and then when you cut it, you're going to have to match how you want it to look. And if you have time for that, great. But you're going to be using extra fabric, and then what do you do? What do you do with the extra little half squares left over? Yeah, you can throw them in your crumb box, but you're going to have a lot of it. So we already have extra. We have a little extra already from this block. So I'm just saying, if you have directional fabric and you want to use it in this project, you have to cut extra and you have to be a little fussy about it, okay? Otherwise, just use like this non-directional fabric and you're going to be fine. Okay. So, let me tell you the dimensions. Now, for the black, I'm just going to go what they say in here in the book. So they have black, they have tone on tones, okay? And here's the CD if you have a CD player. Now, the black, actually, I'm just going to do this because they're all the same. They're all the same except for the cream. So you can use whatever color here you want. I would probably use a lighter color, but you could probably use a darker color if you wanted to. I used this cream. That's what I had. That's what they said in the book, so that's what I used. Now, we're going to do the black print, the red tone on tone, the green tone on tone, and then the darker green tone on tone. Oh, they have green tone on tone and then green print. I guess this is a tone on tone and this is a print. Okay, that actually makes sense. I kind of did that right. Great. So, you're going to need, now only to make one, just to make one of these, you're going to need one square from each of these four 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, write this down. From all four of these, 1 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 square. The next one, all four 4 7/8 by 4 7/8 square. So again, all four of these 4 7/8 inch by 4 7/8 inch square. And then the last one, all four 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 square. Okay, all four of these 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 inch square. Now, once you have written that down, the cream, you only need one. I'm sorry, you only need one square of the 5 1/4 inch. So include this in your 5 1/4 inch square of all the rest of those. You need one 5 1/4 inch square. And then you need 4 rectangles, these little stripy guys up here. So they are 1 1/4, 1 1/4 inch by 7 inches long. 7 inches long by 1 1/4 inch wide. You need 4 of those rectangles so you can see where they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All right, now that you have that, putting this together is relatively simple. You're going to start with these corners, the outside corners here. Okay, now you can pause this and cut your fabric, and then when you come back, I'm going to show you the next thing you want to do with the fabric is cut them in diagonals. So you're going to take your 3 7/8. You know what? I have I have that fabric right here. So let's show you this. So you are going to find your, here's the 4 rectangles, 1¼ by 7 inches. Set those aside. You need 4 of those. Here's the 5¼ in cream. And then I put mine color coordinated. So you have 5¼ 4 7/8, and 3 7/8. Okay, for each one. 5¼ 4 7, 3¼ or 3 7/8. Okay, 5¼ 4 7/8, 3 7/8, and the same with this. All right, now here's my directional fabric. I advise you not to use that, but you can if you want. Okay, now what was I talking about? Oh, to make these corners, you want to take, so you can label those. This little one can be A. The 4 7/8 can be C. And the 5¼ can be D. So A, C, D. All right. Now that you got that, put all of your A's together on top of each other. Stack them very carefully. Put all of your C's on top of each other. Stack them very carefully so that the corners are aligned and the sides are aligned. And then with your D's, do the same thing. Stack them very carefully. So here's your A, C, and D. A, and this is the last one. C and D. All right. Now, get your cutting surface. I need a bigger one. So, I'm just going to use this for now. And you want to cut A. Let's start with A. Now notice I'm putting all of my directional fabric in the same direction. You can see that. So it's going to make it a little bit easier, but it's still going to be confusing in a little bit. But it's going to get jumbled up. So A, I'm going to cut from one corner to the next. So the top left to the bottom right, or it probably looks on your screen, top right to bottom left. So cut through all 4 of those. Good. Now it separates them, and you're good there. Now you're going to do that same thing with C in the same direction. Okay? So a top corner to a bottom corner, diagonal cut through all 4 fabrics. Okay? And now for D, and I'm also going to include this one just to save on cutting. All right. You're going to, let me move these out of the way. Now, if you have your spinny mat, you can put these on your spinny mat and then spin it around. But you're going to cut from the top corner to a bottom corner, diagonal. And then keep your fabric there. We're going to do the same thing to the other side, diagonal. Okay? Top corner to bottom, diagonal. Good. Now, all 4 of those. Good. They're all trimmed up. Not trimmed, cut. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is work with the small one first. So, I'm going to take this off. The cream off because it's going to be separate. And try to just like push this aside. Now I want to work with A's. So I'm going to take one triangle and I'm going to set the other ones aside for now. Okay, let's set this all aside. Now I'm going to take these 7-inch strips, and I have found this is going to be a little bit easier to measure if you have a cutting mat, something like this. You can get this in Walmart, some craft store or whatever. But I just put the long edge along these dotted lines, and at this, at 1 inch mark and another inch mark. So you can see that, right? So here. It's not going to work diagonal. I can't show you it that way. But I'm going to line this up here, and then right at the dots. That's what I'm using. Now, you want to take one of your A's and flip it so that right sides are together. And you're going to line up the corner at the 1/4 inch mark. So let's see if I can bring this a little closer. Can you see that? At the 1/4 inch dot, right? You see that. Nice. Now, I'm going to pop a pin in here so this doesn't move, and I know this is the side that I want to sew on. There we go. All right, great. Now I'm going to do that 3 more times. So I'm going to move this back, and I'm going to do that with each one of these. So, line this up and take another A half square triangle and line that up at the 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. And I know this is the side that I am going to sew. You guys don't need to see me doing this a million times, but just so you understand how I'm doing this. Okay, so right sides together. And batiks, sometimes it's hard to tell which is the right side. Just go with whatever side that looks the prettiest to you if you're using batiks. You don't have to use batiks. And then the last one here. And I'm only doing this because that helps me get the perfect alignment. So there's only 3/4 inch here and 3/4 inch on this side. So now I know that this triangle is perfectly centered on this little tan rectangle, or the background rectangle. Okay, so now I have 4 of these little kits. Now you take it over to the machine and you sew. So let's go ahead and do that. Take it over here. Oh, and I don't have a light on extra for you. Let's see if I can. It's not plugged in. I can't do it quickly. All right, so I am going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You don't have to back stitch if you don't want to, because the seam will get caught as you sew. So now it looks like this, and you're just going to roll that gently forward, and you can finger press it, and if you have a hot iron, you can press with the hot iron, and it's going to look like this. So it kind of looks like a sailor hat or a sailboat or something, right? And this is perfect. This is what you want. So do that a couple more times, 3 more times with your other. I just messed that up. All right, set that aside. And once I do this one, I'll show you how to cut these. So your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And once you get off the colored part and you're on your cream background, you can stop sewing. You don't have to go sew all the way to the end, okay? So again, you're going to gently finger press this open. Now be careful because you don't want to stretch the fabric, all right? And then hot press. And now, let's take this back to the cutting board, and I'll show you what you want to do next. All right, so you take your square, and you just line up your square along the colored sides so that it should be perfectly in alignment, okay? And now what should happen is that you should find, well, it depends on how big your square is actually, but it should simply come off at the corner. Let's see if we can get a close up here. It should come off right at the corner of that rectangle, the cream rectangle. So you're going to now trim that off, just like that. And then it happens the same thing on the other side. Now, I didn't line this up or something correctly because I still have that little thing there. But that's what it should look like, okay? Let's do that with this one. So, you just take the point of your triangle here, and with your measuring tool, just come down, aligned on both sides, and then trim off the excess corners of the cream. And now this is what it looks like. Okay, so now do that 4 times. Okay, now once you have that, start putting your puzzle piece together. Okay, so I'm going to help you do that right now. All right, now if you have the book, you can follow along in the book. I don't know if I can like leave this out so you guys can see it. Maybe you can see that, okay? So, but I didn't sew the other 2, so that's gonna be, it's gonna look a little weird now. All right. Red in the corner, the green in this corner. Now we have another block in the center. We have green in this corner. Now remember, I didn't sew it yet. And black in this corner. Okay. Now, make sure you have a big enough space. My space is too small because I got all this extra stuff in the way. All right. Now make sure you note your C and your D very clearly. Okay. So this is my D and that's my C. All right. Now, what am I doing? The next thing you want to put on here is I'm trying to read along upside down. So a cream B to a black A. Trim as shown to make a. So a cream B to a red A. Wait. I gotta look at it this way. Alright, so the units are right here. This is what we should be looking at here. Right there. Alright. Now, get your C. So the red and the red, they should match. Wait, this isn't C. That's not C. This is D. Okay, that's D. C is right here. All right, that should line up. Oh, let's get it in the way so you can see. So the points should line up, okay? So that's another way that you can tell that you have the right triangles is that these 2 points should line up. And when you put them together, right sides together, you want to line up this point and line up that point. And then you sew on the side here, and it should be like a sandwich. It should equal each other. The triangles should be the same. So you do 1/4 inch seam allowance, you open that up. This is now a unit, okay? And the small triangle goes to the outside, and the bigger triangle goes to the inside. All right, so you do that 4 times. 4 times. Great. There you go. So you sew those together. See if that works. Okay. Now, set these aside for now. Now you're going to make these squares right here. Let's set this apart. So you're going to make these squares, and then there's going to be one separate one in the center. Okay. Now, this down here, this is going to be your green. This is going to be a C, a D, and a cream. All right. So, oh man, I am going to get twisted around. I'm going to have to change the book so I can see it. Sorry, guys. All right. Now, for the bottom here, we need a cream, a green, and another green. So we need a D. So remember, the D was the largest square that was cut into quarters. And we're going to do, here we go. D like this, a cream like this, and then for this long triangle, it has to be this color here. So now we want C in this color, the green, all right? Now you can see how the puzzle piece fits together. When you put the long edge, the biased edge, the diagonal edge against here, they match. Well, not right now because these two need to be sewn together. And once that seam allowance is taken up, they will match. And then you put this on, face sides together, open it up. That becomes a new square block, okay? So now we've just created the bottom row. And then once you have these sewn together, you sew right here on these seams, sew that together. So now this is your bottom row. So this is a patch, a patch, a patch. Patch, 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 and patch, patch, patch. So this is a 9 patch. We're putting together a 9 patch, okay? But you have to make the patches first. And they go together like little puzzle pieces. All right, so now we have 3 more of these little middle patches to do, okay? So now we want, let's do red. So let's go here. Let me think about this. Like this, right? And, wait, I could be wrong on that. Most likely I'm wrong. So we're going to go this way. Here we go. Okay, so it looks like that. And now, I should probably put this down here. The cream goes this way. So the long edge is to the outside. And then we have to have a color that matches this. So I'm going to find that. And I'm going to place that right there. Look how easy that was. Great. Now let's move it on over. Let's go over here. And so I know I need this color. And I'm going to put that, I'm going to put the long edge towards this side, the inside. I'm going to get a cream. I'm going to put the long edge towards the outside. Now that creates a triangle right there. You can see that. Now I need a green to match here. And I need a D, the big one. And I'm going to take, whoops, the long edge against here. The short edge matches there. And then that creates another block. Awesome. Now we're going to do one up here. I have the, here we go, another long edge right here, and a cream at the top, so the long edge goes to the outside, the short edge goes here, and the short edge goes here, and then I only have one more of these left, and I'm going to place that right here, and this is a C, I'm sorry, a D, 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 C, okay? So the small triangles are from the biggest block, the 5 1/4 inch. So I put face sides together. I sew down here. Now this becomes a unit. Now this unit and this unit together, I place that face side together and then sew 1/4 inch seam allowance there. And now this is a unit. This is now a patch. So I have these patches together already. Now I have to make up the middle here. Now for the middle, I need 4 Ds. Okay? So we're going to go in the same direction that the colors are showing in the center. So I need to have a green. Let's see, how do I want to put this? Like that. Okay. So the long edges to the outside. And then I have my other tone on tone. And then I put the black up here. And the corners, all the points meet in the center. And there's my red. Okay? So put these two together, make a triangle here. Put these two together, make a triangle there. And then sew them together. Now you have your middle patch. Now you have to be very careful in the center because you want your seam allowance to go in the opposite direction. Okay. And then you can line those up. Now, there it is, guys. And then when you have all your 9 patches sewn together, then you can sew them in rows. And then once you sew the rows together, sew your columns, if that makes sense. Sew all your rows to one another, okay? And then that is now your cards. That becomes this. Okay. So I wanted to try to keep it as short as possible because sewing would take forever, and you know I do this raw, live, and I don't edit. At least not right now. Don't have the equipment to do that. So there it is. If you are brand new to sewing and you're not really sure how to put this together, let me know in the comments, and I will take the time to go through how to sew each one of these little pieces together to create this, okay? All right, have fun with this. This is a 12 1/2 inch unfinished block, the Christmas cards. So this is our December block of the month for 2025 in our Sew a Year Full of Stars. Yes, it's not a star. I know, I started with a block. Like a square. I started with squares. That's just how I roll. But anyway, have fun making this. If you get stuck, let me know in the comments. I'll see you on the next time. Next one is Thanksgiving.